My name is Emma, and if you'd told me years ago that my life would turn out this way, I might have laughed, or maybe cried. I grew up hearing stories about women who fell in love, married their Prince Charming, and then found themselves at odds with his family. I always thought, that won't be me, I'll figure it out. But life has a way of humbling you. When I met my husband, he was everything I ever dreamed of. He was kind, gentle, and had this quiet way of making me feel like the most important person in the world. We fell in love quickly, and before I knew it, we were married. I was overjoyed, thinking I had found my happily ever after. But then came his family. They weren't outright cruel, at least not at first. It was more like 1,000 tiny cuts, a comment here, a judgmental glance there. They had their ways of making it clear that I wasn't one of them. I tried so hard to fit in, to win their approval. I cooked their favorite meals, remembered their birthdays, laughed at their jokes even when they weren't funny. But no matter what I did, it was never enough. They criticized the way I raised my children, the way I kept my home, even the way I spoke. They'd say things like, "Oh, that's not how we do it in this family," as if I were some outsider who didn't belong. And my husband, bless his heart, he just didn't know how to stand up to them. He'd tell me to ignore it, or that they didn't mean any harm. But their words and actions chipped away at me, little by little. I started to feel like a stranger in my own life. The woman who once laughed easily and dreamed big was now walking on eggshells, trying not to upset anyone. The worst part was that my children saw it all. They saw how their mother was treated, how she smiled through the pain and pretended everything was fine. One day, after yet another family gathering where I felt invisible and belittled, I broke down. I told my husband that I couldn't do it anymore. I told him I wanted a divorce, not because I didn't love him, but because I couldn't keep living like this. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said he didn't want to lose me, but didn't know how to fix things. His weakness broke my heart as much as his family's cruelty did. What happened next still brings tears to my eyes.